Hello, my name is Judah Brown, and I'm going to be starting off with an introduction of who I am. My name is obviously Judah Brown. I'm an only child from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been married for 7 years to my wonderful wife, Joyful. We have two children, Jaren, who's 5, Journey, who's 2. My wife and I work at a group home in South Carolina. We've worked there for about 3 years. And we have been working in group homes for 5 years combined. We've typically worked with middle school to elementary school aged children, girls, and we absolutely love it. And the girls we work with are amazing kids as well. Within this exploration of how I communicate, this has really been more of a growing process for me on how I communicate with those kids that I work with, and my team members or the other workers that I work with as well, the other family teachers. Now I'm going to go in and jump into the material that I'm working with, or the material that we're going through in the class. The first question was identifying my overarching goals. To understanding my goals, I think it's really important first to view your weaknesses, to look at where you're weak, where you need growth, and I think this is identified within the paper, or within within this interpersonal communication. This project in general has helped me to kind of identify those goals and identify what I need to work on. The areas where I feel weak on. I have 3 main areas. One is I have a fear of conflict. I really do not like being in a situation where I feel like I'm going to be in an argument or a conflict with people I work with. The other is I have a weakness of listening to others, and a definite fear of self-disclosure, disclosing how I feel. My overarching goals include effectively being in conflict, not in a way to show my dominance, but in a conversation to build a relationship with that person, and also to come in an agreement together to problem solve. Learning to listen actively to what a person is saying is a part of really what my listening problems kind of stem from. I don't really listen very well. I'm continually working on that, and that's an overarching goal for me. I want to be a better listener. The final goal is disclosure, revealing to another person how I perceive and how I am reacting to a current situation. That goes along with the fear of conflict, opening myself up, allowing another person to see how I feel about the situation, what I think. Now we go to the next bullet point, or the next group of questions is, how has my background and behavioral blend influenced my conversation? This is a great question. My behavioral blend is a mix of the inspiring with the submissive. They're kind of two as separate as you can get. I think a lot of that has to do with my father is more of an inspirer. My mother is a submissive person. She's more of a backgrounds person. Within the text, it talks about, with my behavioral blend, the type of person I am is I feel a need to be outgoing in large groups, but in small groups I'm more laid back. I'm small. I don't really feel open to conversation typically. I just kind of sit back. I love crowds and individuals in general. I just enjoy that. I tend to be very emotional. The way that I perceive things, I'm just a very emotional person. My motives are helping others. That's an important thing for me in general. I really want to help everyone that's around me, no matter what the situation is. I want to be a helper. I tend to be a follower more than a leader. And because of my behavioral blend, I tend to be one of the best types of followers. I'm a people pleaser. I'll do whatever I can to please the people I'm around, to make them happy. This leads to a bit of a conflict in the way I communicate. I tend to agree too often and find myself not standing on what I believe. I do feel comfortable in large groups, which has helped me in the public when I'm talking to a group of people. However, I'm way too concerned about another person, what they may be thinking about me, or trying to please them in the way that I'm communicating. So sometimes I tend to agree way too much and not communicate how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking. Defining some of the barriers. Peterson describes emotionalism kind of a full belly. We tend to get full-bellied, and it causes us to be flat-brained as well. As an emotional person, I tend to find myself in this situation a lot, especially not expressing or being afraid to be in conflict. I don't really tell a person how I'm feeling, so I become more emotional and become more flat-brained about a situation, becoming more irrational on the way I'm thinking and the way I'm saying things. And this finds me to be even more flat-bellied when I'm in conflict, because I'm afraid to communicate to a person, what I'm thinking. So I'm more emotional. It's adding more to that full belly and the flat-brained. Ways I plan on dealing with these barriers is by engaging in conflict. And not engaging in it, like I had said before, in a dominance way, but in a way to resolve problems. Coming together, working out our issue. You view it this way, I view it that way. Let's come together and let's meet in medium ground. We both want to work on this together. As really staying away from the why questions, but really asking more questions. Why do you feel this way? Is not necessarily a better way of asking the question. It's what causes you to think this way? What's leading you? I hear this. Why don't you expand on this more or explain this situation more? Not in a way to make the person feel like I'm belittling them, but also to make us to talk about the situation and the conflict and to really work on it. Identify some noise pollution. Stewart states it best. He discusses about how when we feel like we're not good enough at times, the best thing to do is to stop and to think about the voices that we hear. One of the voices I hear whenever I'm in a conflict is I hear my father telling me, stop, take a back seat, just listen. One of the things he used to say that constantly stays with me is don't stir up waves, sit back, take it on the shoulders. Kind of a joke between us is I'll take it on my shoulders, they're big enough. Fear is a lot of the problem I have, and I'm way too afraid of what others are thinking. And fear happens due to the thought of what may happen in this situation. I think one of the things that'll help me is realizing that I have a Father God who cares for me and wants me to voice my concerns and my thoughts. I think that could be really helpful. Plan of action. My plan of action is first with the fear of conflict. My plan of action is to engage in a way to problem solve, not viewing it as a personal attack, and not even and even if it is planned, and even if it is, my plan is to gulp, as Peterson talks about. Take a big gulp, and realize this isn't. They might be full-bellied. They're making these personal attacks not because they don't like me, not because they're frustrated with me, but not taking it personally. I think that's a big part of what I could do, even if it is an attack. I think allowing myself to not become full-bellied will really help me. Thinking about being flat-brained and being a normal and a well-balanced person when I'm in conflict. I think the next is being a better listener, asking questions, as I've stated before. I think asking questions has been the one thing I've taken away from this class. I need to ask more questions, not just stop at, you tell a story, I tell a story, you tell a story, I tell a story, you tell a story, I tell a story. Instead, it's you told a story, I want to hear more about that story, tell me about it. It's your turn to talk, it's my turn to listen. And that's really where I want to learn more. The next is self-disclosing. I need to disclose myself. I need to open myself up to become more of a person that's talking more about, myself, how I view the situation, how I view what's going on, and how we can work on this situation together and how we can talk on it. I feel like this plan of action can really help me in general with the way that I view things and how I work on things as well with people. Appreciate it so much for letting me have this time. Again, my name is Judah Brown, and I hope you have a blessed day.